You probably don't think the African Sahara and the Canadian Arctic have much in common. But our next story might make you think again. It's about a group of people from Nunavut who are breaking a tragic pattern while teaching the world about their unique culture. Kim Brunhuber has their story near one of the most exotic cities on Earth.
As the sun sets over the dunes of Timbuktu, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was a mirage. An Inuit man in the middle of the desert riding a camel.
It's like kayak, but not in the water.
Jimmy Kwamukak lives in Nunavut, for most of the year a frozen desert of ice and snow. He never thought he'd end up here, in the real desert, about to perform in front of thousands at one of the most unusual festivals in the world.
It has been like a dream.
Guillaume Saladin's dream began in Igloolik, where he grew up. As an adult, he toured the world as an acrobat, but after two of his Inuit friends killed themselves, he knew he had to do something for a community plagued by a suicide rate that's 7 times higher than the national average. So he formed a circus troupe of more than a dozen Aboriginal youths called Art Cirque.
Our cirque is just a way, now we're using circus, but we could have used anything. But a way to use passion and heart to share and communicate with the other.
Earlier this year, he found out about a little-known music festival in Mali called, appropriately enough, the Festival in the Desert. You know it's remote when the closest town is Timbuktu.
Timbuktu, it's like a mythical place for me.
The journey took several days and 7 airplanes.
Every few minutes we'd look at each other and we'd go, we're in the desert, you know?
They knew they'd struggle with the blistering heat, but they were completely unprepared for the cold. When the sun goes down, temperatures often drop to just above freezing. Did you ever think that you'd get cold in the desert?
No, I never thought that.
The Festival in the Desert began 7 years ago to celebrate the culture of Mali's desert nomads. As the festival grew, groups from around the world came to share their music, everyone from Swedish rockers to Dogon dancers. But for the Canadian Inuit, the most remarkable thing here wasn't even human.
The animals, I thought, were very strange here because we don't have camels or turtles.
The Inuit had never seen a camel, the Africans had never seen an Inuit.
You have the face of Japanese people. You practice kung fu.
To help explain their culture to their African hosts, they set up a projector in the desert to show the award-winning Inuit film, The Fast Runner.
This is the real things like this.
Yes. Yeah, we live there. That's our home.
Here?
Yes. Yeah,
to the edge like this, glass.
Yes, glass.
You see me here, you see what I do? Because so cold for us, me if I go here, I died.
The more they talked, the more they realized how much they had in common. Substitute sand for snow, and their harsh landscapes and unforgiving climates are remarkably similar. And both traditionally nomadic peoples are trying to adapt to perhaps the toughest environment of all, modernity.
There's just so much in common. Even though we're worlds apart, we're still a part of the same world.
Any differences they did have disappeared the moment they picked up a guitar.
Even though we have very different languages, but through music we can connect, and that's very special to me.
Despite the crushing rate of poverty, alcoholism, and suicide back in Igloolik, their experience in Mali, a country ranked by the UN as 4th poorest in the world, made them grateful for the relative affluence of their North American lifestyles.
Of course we have problems back home, but we also have it really easy in many ways.
During the 3-day festival, they shared their traditional music, games, and even calisthenics.
Keep your back straight. Yeah, okay. You use your legs. Okay, like this?
However, the most important thing that came out of their journey into the heart of the desert isn't what they taught others, but what they learned about themselves. Kim Brunhuber, CBC News, Timbuktu, Mali.